So let's talk about this right now. This is more
Yeah.
about an ideological talk today. I don't want to get too deep into the details as far as what was going on. We heard the story about Kim Kardashian kind of talking about this person, Brandon Bernard, who she wanted to get his sentence commuted, I guess is the way you
Mm-hmm.
say it, knocked down from being on death row to serving a life term in prison. Now, Brandon Bernard, 40, was executed for the 1999 double murder, and he says, I wish I could take it back. There's a little video here as well. I don't know if we should show this one. We can show the other one, Johnny, from Ayanna Presley, which probably be a little bit better, which would be a little bit safer that we wouldn't get. Yeah. So this is Ayanna Presley. She says, abolish the death penalty. That's something I want to talk about. Take a look. It says 2.8 million views. Brandon Bernard.
I'm locked up in my room 23 hours a day. That's been the case for 17 years. I have learned to entertain myself, to keep myself motivated in here. And I've done all kinds of things. I read a lot. And I do crochet blankets and scarves, and I do hats, all kinds of things. It feels good to create something. I practice the guitar. I feel like I'm getting better, but that's up for debate. But I keep doing it. And I write, and it's just, I've taken a couple of college courses, writing course and stuff like that, in order to just motivate myself to just change. You know, I don't have to be stagnant because I'm in here. I can always improve on myself. Maybe not as much as people in the world can, but still, there's an opportunity to improve yourself. And for that, I have to take it. For those that believe in me out in the world and for myself. And in being in here, one thing I've learned is that I have to do things for myself. When you try to do things for others, to try to appease others, it's not natural. And I feel like I've learned that these improvements I need to do for myself. So then they hold and they stand through the test of time.
He was 18 years old when he committed a heinous crime, helping some people put a couple into a trunk, set it on fire, and killed them. Now, he was always remorseful.
So he assisted in the murder.
He did. I mean,
but
it's tough to really talk about, because I often think about the people who lost family members who lost someone when it comes to that. But we've always, we haven't really had this discussion on this channel right yet. And I kind of thought today that maybe, I know you had a couple big sections going on, that we can just spend a little time and talk about the death penalty in itself. Now, he committed a heinous crime, and I saw some people, your friend, I think her name is Cassandra Fairbanks, saying, good, he deserved to die. He killed somebody in such a heinous way. The death penalty should be in place. So that if we don't have the death penalty in place, heinous crimes will continue to commit, but that it's used as more as a deterrent from people committing these crimes. But I just want to know your thoughts on the death penalty, fam. Because me personally, I'll go first. I think we should never be allowed to kill somebody. I believe society has a right to protect itself. I think it has a right to even punish people at certain times for the crimes they commit. But I don't feel that society has a right to be vengeful. The society has a right to kill. I believe it is not up to any modern standards whatsoever. And even if you want to get religious in it and you say, like, there are things in the Bible, things in the Torah that say it's an eye for an eye, I still disagree with it. And I just want to know your guys' thoughts on how you feel on the death penalty.
No, I'm 100% against the death penalty. I've been against the death penalty my whole life, because I don't think it's up to human beings to play God. Like, you don't get to decide who is worthy of death and who isn't. A lot of the times people are on death row for a crime they didn't commit. That happens more often than not. And also because society, the system is so screwed that we breed people to commit crimes. Like I believe in nurture is a lot of it. Like it depends on the family you were born in. Some people aren't born with a good family structure. Some people are born poor, and unfortunately it happens to be a lot of people of color because of the nature of the way this country developed. And so we end up seeing so many people that are that yes, they should pay a price for what they did, but the death penalty is something that isn't really, what do you get out of it? I mean, even as somebody that, let's say, you lost a family member to it, wouldn't it be better if the person was in prison for longer than a lot of serial killers actually want the death penalty? Like we're talking about real evil people here. They want the death penalty because it's easy. It's a get out of free card. You just get an injection and you get to die, and that's it. You don't get to be in jail anymore. Sometimes it's worse to be in jail. And I 100% believe in rehabilitation more than just punishment. I believe like people make mistakes and they should have an opportunity to rectify those mistakes. If if you went and you killed somebody because you were drunk and you killed a family, yes, you should go to jail, but yes, you should be able to do your time and repent. And I believe that that's something that can be applied to somebody that at 18 was, maybe your brain isn't developed yet. You were influenced by whatever it is you were influenced. You were tried as an adult. Should you be there the rest of your life? I even think that's too much. I mean, I'm definitely not for the death penalty. I think it's a way where we're playing God and it's not justified.
John, you have anything to say about the death penalty? So let's talk about for a second what happened with Donald Trump. Kim Kardashian West, she did push. You can see among those trying to stop the December 10th execution was the prosecutor who won the guilty verdict against him. Kim Kardashian West also pushed for President Trump to commute Bernard's sentence. The reality TV star was tweeting in the days amid hours leading up to the execution, urging her followers to contact officials and ask to save Bernard. So, I mean, I think that in this particular situation, and we've seen Donald Trump, Kim Kardashian has got him to commute a few sentences of people who were in prison for a long time unjustly. And that's a lot of our prison system right now. We have a lot of people in there for minor crimes, people in prison for years during a really racist time where they would just, very little evidence and lock black people up for life and whatnot, and marijuana sentences, very stupid things. But this was one particular situation where I was kind of wondering why Donald Trump wouldn't make the move. And I think that it was the fact of the crime that Bernard committed, Brandon Bernard committed, since it was a heinous crime, that it led Donald Trump to say, listen, I'll get too much back push from my supporters if I do commute the sentence. So I think that did play into this whole decision-making, the fact that he just did not make a decision to commute the sentence on that.
Yeah, well, Donald Trump has always been pretty harsh when it comes to punishment. If you remember the, the Central Park's 5, the kids that were, tried as pretty much adults, like when they were 12, 14, 16 years old, he was saying like, yeah, no, like put them away, like, because the crime was a woman was raped, but it turned out it wasn't those kids who did it. It was somebody else. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. The right has a tendency, like Cassandra, to think like, oh no, you should be, you commit one mistake and you're that's it. You don't get any sort of like
they're very eye for eyes kind of people, whatnot, and we shouldn't have that mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's a very primitive mentality, you guys. Like that's not how people
Code of Hammurabi. Thousands of years ago.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't work. It just doesn't. It takes away empathy and stuff. I mean, human beings, they make mistakes, so they're going to make mistakes. And I think, if we fix society, you're going to have less of that anyway. But if you continue to put death and destruction and vengeance on society, it's going to reflect that. And it's going to continue. It's going to exacerbate the situation.
I think society doesn't have a right to be vengeful and kill. It has a right to protect itself. It has a right to punish, but no way in any sense. I've always believed that too as well. In fact, I was going to bring up a video, but I don't want to do it because I don't want them getting clipped. But there was The West Wing when I used to watch it, when I was so blinded. But there was a scene where Toby Ziegler, who was a communications director, who was a Jewish man, his rabbi was trying to convince him of like, hey, listen, you got to go tell the president to commute this sentence. You know what I'm saying? Because, and he says, but the Torah says an eye for an eye, and the rabbi says, he goes, it also says that a young baby can be brought to the gates and be stoned to death. That homosexuality is an abomination and punishable by death. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things written in our old scriptures, whether you're a religious person, whether it be the Torah, the Bible, whatnot, but it's not up to modern standards. And modern standards should say we don't do that. We don't have a right to be vengeful. We don't have a right to kill. And, this gentleman right here has had remorse ever since he committed the crime. I don't know if that means anything, but the fact is he knew what he did was wrong and whatnot. And, I appreciate Kim Kardashian West making a push for it, but it did not work this time. And unfortunately, yesterday, Brandon Bernard had been laid to death. And it's over by lethal injection.
Yeah. And I mean, at least it's not, the chair or like freaking hanging anymore. But come on, it's still
they still have problems with lethal.
Oh, yeah.
They've had problems where it hasn't killed people all the way and the persons have suffered and whatnot. It's been disgusting.